It's time for Mac Geek Gab, and listener Dan brings us our cool stuff found of the week with, I have to rave about this fun little app, TinyStart. It's an app launcher that can do a whole bunch of handy and well thought out actions. You can set up a default search engine with a custom keyword. For example, I used !W for Wikipedia, the same as the DuckDuckGo keyword. So I use !W, and that puts me at the site I want to go to immediately. Launching apps is a given, but it creates a list of commonly opened apps, and from that list you can use Command Q and it quits that app. The emoji picker has a separate keyboard function, and it seems to have a lot of smarts relative to looking up emojis. It finds options so well. The website has an intro video showing the capabilities. Cost is €5, but it's not in the App Store. The download is a zip file since the developer doesn't limit us use at all, and I knew I'd use this on a couple of Macs. I felt good about doubling that for the how much would you like to pay prompt that he offers. This does most of what LaunchBar does for $35, does for me, and with one exception, that it doesn't have a clipboard manager, which launcher is easier and flips back and forth to my eye, but the emoji picker is hands down better in TinyStart. More cool stuff found like this, plus your questions answered today on Mac Geek Gab 1139 for Monday, the 27th of April, 2026.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to Mac Geek Gab, the show where you send in cool stuff found like that, and today we share your cool stuff found. We also do quick tips and questions that we answer, but probably for today, mostly just cool stuff found. Our sponsors, that's right. Our sponsors include a new one, NordLayer Browser, which is a business browser built to give IT the visibility control for like phishing attacks and data leaks and things like that. Barebones, of course, with BBEdit at barebones.com and gusto.com/MGG, where you can get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. We'll talk more in depth about each and every one of those in a little bit. For now, here on World Pinhole Photography Day in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
And here in South Dakota, I'm Adam Christensen.
And here also in New Hampshire, it's Pilot Pete. Good to be with you, gents, this week.
Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, I'm liking this. Yeah. And make sure to check out macgeekgab.com/giveaway. We are giving away 3 year-long Plex Passes for 3 lucky winners. And all you got to do is go to macgeekgab.com/giveaway. You can enter more than once. There's a whole thing, and it's pretty cool. So, yeah.
Speaking of cool stuff found, right?
Yes.
Plex Pass. Nice.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, that's I think that's been a cool stuff found for over a decade here. Yeah, we should
worth it.
We should. Yeah, we should have like a cool stuff found Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's think about that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Whoever setup would make that.
It'd be number 1.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Interesting.
You could dedicate a whole page to that on the Mac Geek Gab with a separate link and everything.
I'm pretty sure the first cool stuff found was menu meters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which came back in a different life. I think it's available as like a free thing on GitHub now. Maybe, I don't know. There was a thing, but that I'm pretty sure that was the first cool stuff found if memory serves. But anyway, we have more. We don't have to dig into the archives.
Let's go into the new stuff we got. Yeah. Istvan has one for us. He says, "Hi, MGG crew. I am an indie developer, and I built a dual-pane file manager for the Mac called VoidCommander. If you ever use Total Commander on Windows, you'll recognize the idea immediately. 2 panels side by side, keyboard first, everything where you'd expect it. There are a few similar apps on the Mac, but none of them felt quite right. Too bloated or missing things that actually matter. VoidCommander is 30 years of Norton Commander / Total Commander experience distilled into a native Mac OS app.
I remember. So this is cool stuff made even. I like this. Yeah, I remember that. Seeing that dual pane view, it's like, oh yeah, I remember Total Commander on Windows.
Oh,
yeah.
I missed a part here. Okay. There's a code, he says, that we can share with the audience. Is that true?
It is true.
So if you're interested in this one, you get savings for being here and being on Mac Geek Gab. He says there's a VOID40 code, VOID 40 code, 40% off if you'd like to share that with our audience. We would, absolutely. So
yeah,
cool.
Great. I will put a link in the show notes for all of that. Yeah. Great stuff. And we will have links for everything in the show notes at macgeekgab.com. So please feel free to visit macgeekgab.com. We also embed those links as best we can, and I think we usually get there, in the podcast itself. So if you are listening on a device that supports links, Apple Podcast supports links to other things at apple.com, but not elsewhere. So like the Mac Geek Gab app, for example, I'm pretty sure Overcast also supports, chapter links, but our app definitely does. And so if you're listening there and you're like, oh, I want to check out VoidCommander. Well, as long as we haven't changed to the next chapter, all you do is tap on your screen and it brings you right there. So
nice.
Yep. Speaking of moving to the next thing, though, the new chapter just started. Pete, what's up?
Well, I can tell you, it's called HINTControl to control your T-Mobile home internet router. We might have discussed something about this last week, and Paul wrote in to control my T-Mobile home internet router. With HINTControl, you can turn off their Wi-Fi and effectively put their gateway into bridge mode. I just bought a TP-Link Deco mesh extenders with the TP-Link Wi-Fi 6 mesh router replacement system 3, the AX1500 mesh router from Walmart, and it works perfectly. The Deco's increased throughput has effectively doubled, almost tripled my speeds. So, wow. All right.
Okay, so that's a follow-up to last week when we were saying just go in and set your port forwarding or turn your router into bridge mode. T-Mobile does not offer easy ways to do that, but this app solves your problem. So love that. Love that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. All right, let's see. Uncle Jamie is up next with something, I think, for our watches. Uncle Jamie says the Apple Watch app called CalCs, capital C-A-L, capital C-S, has an unfortunate name, which makes you think it might be a calculator. Instead, it stands for calendar complications. As an app, it does almost nothing. What it does do is add some complications to the menu in the Apple Watch. He says, I use the whole month calendar presentation, and yes, the text is tiny, but the current date's highlighted, which gives you a hint. Plus, I just think it looks cool. He says, I think it's free or maybe just a couple of bucks, so we will put a link to that. Thanks, Uncle Jamie. Yeah, cool. CalCs, C-A-L-C-S. And I'm pretty sure he's right that it's free. I think that when I looked. Yeah, it's only, but it lets you put, complications are Apple's word for things that appear on the face of the watch. It's not Apple's word. It's the watch industry's word, right? If you have a watch that has the date, that is a complication, right? So this just adds different types of calendars. But yeah, being able to see the whole month, there are times where that would be handy for me. But seeing, your day's worth of meetings and things like that, even just small on the screen, I like it. It's good. Sweet. Love it, love it.
Yeah, good stuff.
The next one is like a cool stuff found revisited, but it's probably worth it because it gives us a different use case. Right, Pete?
It does, yeah. And so hopefully the mowers in the background aren't too bad for you folks. Steven writes in, hi, David. I hope this message finds you well. I started using Blip because I've been having problems with AirDrop showing up in the receivers list so that I can reliably transfer files across devices. So far, Blip has been flawless. I thought you might find this of interest. Take care. And then, let's see, also started playing around with large file transfer in Blip. He says, Blip versus Dropbox. It's an unlimited alternative to Dropbox for file transfer. Stop waiting for sync. Send it instantly from external drives and never run out of space. Unfortunately, Dropbox has just removed, support for syncing external drives on the Mac and read about Blip versus Dropbox. And then Blip versus WeTransfer. File transfer websites like WeTransfer have size limits and restrictions, and they're slow. The other person can only download once you've finished uploading. And so Blip.
I think to that comment about Dropbox removing support for external drives, Adam, I think you and I had a conversation about this. It has something to do with Apple's file services thing, where if you're a sync provider, you have to use the thing in the home directory as the cache or as the local store. It was something that Apple mandated. So
yeah, I don't quite remember, but vaguely remember having that conversation. I'm sure we looked up some stuff and information, and it's promptly left my my aging brain, I'm sure.
If I had thought about it ahead of time, I would have searched our archives for it. But you can search them too at MacGeekGab.com. I'm sure as the episode progresses, it'll either come to one of us, or more likely, it'll come to one of the people that follows along in live when we record in MacGeekGab.com/Discord. And if you want to know when we are recording, even when the calendar changes, like it may have for this one, if you subscribe at MacGeekGab.com/calendar, that will get you there. And all of these links are, of course, in the show notes, and they're in our iOS app at MacGeekGab.com/app. So there you go.
Cool.
Yupper. What do you got for us, Adam?
Oh, I got one that's fun and probably on the pricier side, but it's something that I bought years ago. I mean, we were talking pre-show about meat and barbecue, and I always wanted a smoker, so I went and I think I got mine from Menards. I think you can only buy it in store. This one in store at Menards, but they have a bunch of different ones. But this is a Pit Boss Competition Series 1230 CS1 combo grill. So I always have had like a gas grill, but I wanted like a pellet smoker. And what's cool about this one, well, a couple things. First, it's got pellet smoker on one side and a gas grill on the other side. So you're not locked into one or the other. You have both. But then also it has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and an app, the Pit Boss grilling app. So you can connect to it. It's got 2 temperature probes, and you can plug those in, and then you can monitor it remotely as you're like cooking and watch your temps and all that fun stuff. Another kind of cool thing about it is, and I haven't done this yet, so we smoked ribs and brisket, and it all comes out great. What's nice too is some people complain with smoking that you don't get the char you want. So like one thing you can do is if you've done a long smoke and it's not quite charred enough for you, you can high heat, throw it on the gas grill, finish it off real quick, so you can do kind of the reverse sear kind of stuff. The thing itself also has a little slider, so you can open up directly to the heat box on the smoker side too, to kind of get more of a flame on there if you want. And then last thing that's kind of cool about it that I haven't used is there's a little pass-through vent that you can open between the smoker side and the gas grill side. And you might say, well, why would you want to do that? That gives you the ability to cold smoke on the gas grill side. So you fill up the smoker on the smoke side and then let the smoke drift over to the cool gas grill side. Obviously, gas not turned on.
Not on, right, yeah.
But then you could smoke like cheese if you want.
Huh. That's pretty cool, man. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'll just say, don't look at the star ratings on there. I was like, why is this so low? Because it's like a 3-star rating and it's got a bunch of 5 stars and then a bunch of 1 stars. I went and looked. This is the classic website problem. So if you look at the images of the reviews, a lot of people are reviewing a combo smoker and griddle model that they have. So
Okay.
they're not even talking about this. The reviews don't
I
match
see.
the actual model.
Yeah.
They're complaining about, and it's really confusing when you go on their website. I had a hard time finding this specific model. They have a bunch of dual smokers, so this isn't the only one. This might be one of the few that has the Wi-Fi Bluetooth. I think that's what puts it into the competition series, maybe. I don't know. It's a little bit confusing on their website. They have a ton of models, and looks like they have some that are exclusive. So like this one particularly is sold, like I said, sold at Menards, but they have other versions that are same features, just called something else and sold someplace else.
Sure. Huh. Yeah, okay.
I love mine. And I want to say it's around $700. So like I said, it's not cheap.
All right.
Not
That's
too
not
nice.
terrible. Yeah. I am, oh no, I'm not doing terrible. Okay. I thought I was doing terrible at, I have some show and tell here to do, but I thought I was doing terrible at it. Pete, what do you have next for us?
So I've got this cool little thing that I got on Amazon the other day because, as I've told you, Dave, I'm in the market for a boat. But one of the things I'm worried about is looking in the diesel tank. The age of this boat is such that it might be a matter of concern that the steel tanks, are they in good enough condition? So I found for $25, I was shocked, and a 10-foot Borescope camera. It's semi-rigid, and the camera, you could stick it, it's waterproof, dustproof, all that good stuff. You can stick it into a diesel. I wouldn't stick it in a gasoline tank, but it's got a camera. It's got a light on the end. You can stick it in all kinds of places up in the air conditioner to see what's back there. Hard to reach places, otherwise enclosed places. It comes with little accessories. One is a hook, so if you drop a ring, say down in a sink trap, you could stick that down there, find the ring, hook it, pull it back up. It has a 90-degree angle camera on it. And, it also comes with a little magnet attachment that screws onto it.
Oh,
so
nice.
so if it's metallic, you may be able to grab it that way. And
it uses your phone as
it
the
plugs
screen.
into your iPhone, yes. And a little app called X-Scope that you download with it. And you can rotate the picture 90, so you don't have to rotate the camera. You can rotate the picture 90 degrees with each tap in a full circle. And I just saw, as I was getting ready to do this, look on there. This is a 10-foot one that I got for $25. You can get a 50-foot one. I can't imagine needing a 50-foot Borescope, but there it is, available on Amazon. Let's see what
if
else
you wanted to see the whole line from like your house to your septic tank, that 50-foot might be if you've got a blockage somewhere, man, that wouldn't be the worst thing. Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to see that, but I know what you mean.
Well, I mean, listen.
Right? Yeah.
You say that. When you come back from a long day in New York City and a 5-hour drive and realize that your downstairs shower is starting to fill with water, you do want to see what's in
not
that.
Nice water either, I'm guessing.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
You can go, it'll do black and white or color. You can pinch to zoom.
Cool.
Let's see what else is in
That's
there.
cool. That's great, man. I have one of these that has its own screen that I paid a lot more for, and I love that this one just plugs into your USB-C iPhone and you're good to go.
Yeah,
that's great.
And a little inline rheostat so you can turn on light as needed and brightness and
cool.
I don't know. Yeah, but
fun.
Looks like about 7 or 8 LEDs in there. It's wow. Technology, huh?
I might need one of these. I've often needed this capability for various reasons.
Right. Yeah, it is. They are very clear. This is not for personal or medical inspection.
Sure.
But wait. So what did Pete do? Stuck it in his ear. Look at that. I can see what's in my own ear.
Love it. That's great.
Because I can.
Cool. That's great. Love it. All right. So thanks for, if you're watching this on YouTube, Pete did a little show and tell on that one, of course. So we will do that. And then I have some show and tell to do for this new Anker Nano power strip. We did a little video for this when they were showing it off in Las Vegas, but this is meant to, it now exists and you can actually get it. This is meant to hold on. It clamps on to you. It's a power strip, plugs into the wall, and it's got an adjustable clamp on it so that it clamps onto your desk.
Nice.
And then it's about 5 inches long. It's got on the top of it, so the part that would be on the top of your desk has 2 AC outlets on the very top of it. And then it's got 4 USB ports, 2 USB A's, 2 USB C's on the front of it, so you can plug all your stuff in. And then the part that sits under your desk has 4 more AC outlets. So you get all kinds of stuff for the things that you plug in under your desk as well as over your desk. And it clamps right on and just, has a little screw that goes down. And it's $70 on Amazon. You can get it in black or white. It is the Anker Nano Power Strip Desk Clamp with 1,500 joules of surge protection, a 5-foot extension cord, 70-watt max for accessories, and black or white.
How long is the extension cord?
5 feet.
5 foot?
Yeah. So it'll plug into the power strip sitting on the floor under your desk, right? Or into the wall outlet right there. And it's doing your surge protection. So
yeah, I guess that should technically be long enough if you have an
outlet there.
Desk, right? Well, I'm thinking if you have a desk that goes up and down, 5 feet should be.
If it's plugging into the wall, it should be enough for sure. Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Oddly enough, code is 6 feet. Not for the cord, but for the code, the distance between the outlets is 6 feet.
Between outlets, that's right. Yeah.
So the maximum. The outlet, I like that the outlets under the desk part have 2 on the sides.
Yes.
I'm wondering about the 2 that are directly underneath, which technically would be pointing down at the ground, right?
Yes, that's right.
So do you get another clamp to hold your power brick?
I wouldn't put a power brick on the ones
I don't
underneath.
Think you can.
I'd plug just a regular plug-in. That's a really good point. Yeah. Use the side ones for your bricks. That's pretty good.
I'm just imagining you try to plug it in, it's just dropping out.
I'm really glad that we talked about it here because I've had it sitting in the studio so that we could talk about it and I could do a little show and tell. But now I want to go put it back. We have a perfect spot like in the living room where we charge our Quest headsets and some other things. And it's like, it's a perfect thing for that. So, yep.
Yeah, the USB ports are ideal for having them right there at the top of the desk. And just
that's the key.
In.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, Anker, I mean, they look at what people use and then they make things to make that easier. So
they should design a hub like with that same thing.
Oh yeah.
Or
right.
Dock,
Yeah, I know. Like yeah. Something that plugs into your computer and then extends the capabilities. Yeah.
I mean, I have the one that sits on my desk, but it's, again, I have a standing desk or a modified standing desk. Mine's manual, but problem is like no matter how I manage the cables, it ends up pulling on that thing. It's one of those vertical docks. I don't think I'd ever get a vertical one again. I need to have a horizontal flat one, but it pulls back and then the cables got strain on them and pain in the butt.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I like that idea of clamping the dock to my desk.
Yeah.
Because that way it's not moving around. Yeah. Huh. All right, well, I'll make sure Anker knows about this segment, Adam. So we'll get it into we'll get it percolating.
Well, I'm sure you could 3D print a solution for yourself too,
Of course. Speaking of things that could be 3D printed, but I don't know if they are, what do you got next, Pete?
Well, the excuse me, the CharGen, CharGen Pro Airforms Pro Active V10. Ben wrote in with these. They're $24.99 at chargenpro.com. Lifetime replacements. They wear out. They send you new ones forever. These are a hybrid tip, memory foam on the inside.
These are tips for your. We
AirPods
buried
Pro.
the lead. Yeah.
I did. Yep. I'm sorry. Yep. They're
okay.
for your AirPods Pro. So you get a foam seal like earplugs, but with the durability and cleanability of the silicone. The V10 version adds grippy outer texture so they actually stay put. No more reseating your AirPods every 5 minutes. Why they're better than Apple stock tips? Well, the Apple tips are silicone and they can slip. These create a tighter seal, better bass, better active noise canceling, less outside noise leaking in. They also don't get gross as fast as full foam tips because that silicone outer layer protects that from, oozing in, as it were. So this is one of those rare upgrades where you go, oh, this is how they were.
These look like very similar to the other tips that I can't think of the name of, the Comply tips that you can get for AirPods. These are only for AirPods Pro 1 and 2. I don't know if they make them for AirPods Pro 3. But Apple does make tips like this that come with AirPods Pro 3, so you may not need these. But I have tips like this on mine from Comply, and all the things you said were right. They don't need to be cleaned all the time. I think I've replaced mine once, which means once every 18 months or so, and I use them all the time as earplugs and other things. So yeah, good stuff.
Cool. So the Comply ones also have the silicone outer coating with the foam interior.
Yeah. There's I don't know if it's silicone, but there's something. It's sealed on the outside. Let's put it, and so it's got to be silicone. Otherwise, they'd be
Because I think this came up, and I don't know if this CSF came in because of that. I think we were talking about this. I had mentioned I was surprised that the Apple AirPods Pro 3 ones don't work with older AirPods Pro. And
it's a different.
We were asking about
grip,
replacements. Yeah,
right?
They changed the connector. I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'm looking here at the Comply ones on Amazon. I'll put a link to these too. And I don't know that these do have a seal or have a. They say memory foam ear tips provide a better grip than silicone. These might just be memory foam. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the ones from the CharJenPro, might even be a better option. Huh.
Well, I think it's preference. I mean, it probably comes down to
fair.
preference.
That's fair.
And some people probably have allergies. There's people that can't use silicone, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Well, I like the lifetime replacements on the CharJens. That's cool. I don't know if the others have that or not, but.
I don't know that they do. That's a good question.
Oh,
go ahead.
This is one of those classic things, like lifetime replacement, right?
Well,
how much are they, and how much is the hassle to get your replacements?
Yeah, and how much is the shipping
ordering fee? It's great. I love this stuff. It's great, but it was the best lifetime replacement warranty I've ever had in my life was Craftsman when Sears was around.
LL Bean had a great one for about 100 years, and then people really started a subset of people started taking advantage of it. LL Bean's was, if you bought it from us, if anyone bought it from us, if it was ours, and you had a problem with it, just call us. We'll fix it or replace it.
Yeah, I just
that was it.
Walking into Craftsman, and you had a rusty old wrench or whatever, and you hand it to the guy, and he walks over the shelf. He's like, "Here's a new one."
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And he walked out.
Yes,
they didn't even plug it into a computer or anything. It was just like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I think Lowe's bought the Craftsman brand, and I think they still do that.
Been licensed out to everybody, like a lot of those old brands, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Huh. I don't know if Lowe's honors that or supports it or anything.
I think a couple of them. I want to say Lowe's might do it for their own tools, whatever their brand is. The blue thing. I can't remember the name of the brand, but something with a K or something.
That's great.
Anyway,
although now that I think about it, I did just buy a set of Craftsman wrenches at an Ace Hardware.
I think Ace has
so it isn't only Lowe's that has it.
Okay.
Maybe Lowe's bought it, or maybe Ace bought it instead of Lowe's, and I think
you're
confused.
Right. I think it is Ace because I just got a Craftsman torque wrench from them.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
speaking of, you mentioned allergies, Adam, so this is as good a time as any to, I've been fighting this, well, trying to solve this mystery of why my throat has been like raw and such since like September. And it's been a detective novel. But we're getting there. And it turns out I have, for some reason in my middle age here, which is atypical, I have developed a reaction to dust mites and Timothy grass and ragweed. I did all the allergy tests. Once we figured out it was allergies, which we only figured out like a month ago, by the way. It took us a while to get there. But one of the things that was recommended, and so we did all the things that you're supposed to do, and I'm antihistamines help me, and I'm doing the immunotherapy drops, which should help. Obviously, it's only been a few weeks on those, so that takes months. But doing all the things. And we think it's probably Lyme disease related, in that Lyme kind of messed with my immune system over the summer. And this is the lasting gift that I get from it, is that now my body's more sensitive to like my immune system. So the immunotherapy is trying to retrain it. Like, go back. Don't get used to this. Go back. So that's what we're trying to do. But in the meantime, mitigating the triggers is a good thing. And so I've gotten very into HEPA filters. And we've had other air filters in the house for years. And I can tell you, there is a huge difference between the kind of non-HEPA air filters and the HEPA air filters. There's two I want to talk about. The first is the Levoit EverestAir, which is good for large rooms. It's not inexpensive. It's like $400. It's not terrible. Everything I'm going to mention here links with your iPhone, connects via Wi-Fi. It's very cool. This Levoit one is good for like 2,600 square feet, so a large area.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And it'll do, certainly the whole main floor of my house is processed by this thing. We have it in our living room, but I can notice the difference everywhere. I noticed the difference in our living room within about an hour of setting this thing up. And it's got two filters in it. It's got a HEPA filter and a washable pre-filter. It monitors the air quality and will ramp itself up and down depending on what's going on, and it can even go into like it puts itself to sleep, like an eco mode kind of thing where the fan's not running. But when things are like copacetic, even with the fan running, I think it's maybe 40 decibels or something, like it's 30 decibels. Like it's super, super quiet. It can get loud when it goes into like, we got to fix a problem mode. But it's really like this thing blew me away with how I could feel the difference in my lungs sitting on the couch in the living room, an hour, maybe two after I'd turned this thing on. It was pretty good. And then for the bedroom, I've got a smaller one, and that's the AirVersa AP2. This one, it also Wi-Fi connects. It's also HomeKit compatible, so that you can link it to all of your your HomeKit stuff if you want. This one's $100. It's good for 1,000 square feet. It's full HEPA, all of those things, and again shows you what the air quality is, and these both have like history graphs, so you can see, okay, when do things get worse, when do things get better, what time of day, like those kinds of things. You can see all those patterns. And I've got obviously Amazon links to both of these things. But yeah, this AirVersa, this AP2, like this is the one that like I said, I have in the bedroom. I've actually started moving it back and forth between the bedroom and the office because I'm realizing how bad things get for me when I've been in the office all day. And then they get better when I go back to the house, and it's like, wait a minute, I know what I need. Yep. I am shocked at the difference that it makes. It sucks that I get to notice this stuff now, but it does. Anyway, so that's the two air filters I got for today.
We use
purifiers. I should say.
We use, and we have them all over the house. Air Doctor, but
okay.
Thing.
Yeah. All right. I've never heard of Air Doctor. I'll have to check that out too.
Yeah,
Interesting.
They have the AirDoctor 2000, which sounds similar to the Everest model that
Yep.
you mentioned. Circulates, looks like about the same amount of air, and it's about the same price.
Yeah. I'm finding it here on Amazon
That's
now.
the
I'll put a link to that.
3500. So
Okay.
that's the high end one. They also have a 2000 that's
okay.
$399.
Okay. All right. I'll put both of them in. That's great. Good stuff. Huh. Good to know. Yeah. It's amazing how much of a difference this can make. So, yupper. And it's cool. I love having them connected because you get to see that, like, and I assume the AirDoctor is you can connect to your phone and all that stuff, right, Adam?
You cannot.
Oh, interesting. Does it have a display to at least tell you what the?
Yeah, and it has a little ring. It has the triple, like it'll detect the air quality, and they'll ramp up, like when they need to, and ramp down when they don't. And
Got it.
I think it also has an ion mode. You can turn that on if you want.
Yeah. I will say,
really use that.
Hector asked me. We still Hector D Bird still thriving with us here, and there are certain types. A HEPA filter obviously is going to be okay, but there are certain types of things like the ionization filters. Bad for birds. I've learned.
Oh yeah.
They don't really have, birds don't really have filtration like we do, like our noses and all the things that like filter air before they get to our lungs. Birds don't have that. They need to be lightweight so that they can fly. And so they're stripped down to the bare essentials, but it means that they are super, super sensitive to all of that stuff. Like once we got Hector, we have not cooked with Teflon in 15 years or however long it's been that we've had Hector. So, because that's just, that aerosolizes.
That just seems so counterintuitive. If I was designing the universe, I'd find something else to strip off of birds because they move through so much air and can go from place to place and find different quality of air. I'd think for survivability that wouldn't be the case, but that's my
yeah.
I'd do it different, God.
Darwin had a different idea there, Pete.
If I was God for a day,
yeah, exactly.
Here's how I'd do it.
Yeah.
And also, Dave, I take it back. The AirDoctors do now have a model that is smart, so you can get. We have the non-smart ones, but you can pay a little more and get the smart one.
Okay, good. All right, cool. So you can pick and choose. My guess is that once I get these things settled and I'm not really obsessing about them anymore, I won't necessarily care about the iPhone integration. Although knowing when the filter life is sort of coming due is one of the things that I actually have a one here in the studio that I've had for a while, a Sensibo, and it's like almost HEPA, like it's the 2-stage versus the 3-stage or what I forget, but the Sensibo makes full HEPA ones. That this one just doesn't happen to be, and it is handy to get a notification like, hey man, like you probably should replace that filter. And I did some research, and they're not wrong. They're not just out to make money. It actually makes a difference for how it filters your air. So.
Oh, that's a key for everything. I mean, even your home filter systems, and a lot of us probably don't change them as frequently as we should.
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. Yeah. All right. You know what? We have lots more cool stuff found to talk about. And in fact, I think our sponsors also have some cool stuff found. So let's tell you about them. And this week, we get to talk about NordLayer Browser. And it's something this has got me stoked. Think about your workday for a second, right? How much of it actually happens inside your browser, right? Email, all your SaaS apps, shared docs, a dozen different logins, sensitive data flying around, all in the tabs that you forgot you had open. That's exactly where the threats live now. The phishing, the shadow IT, the data leaks. And most security tools weren't really built for this world that we're in. NordLayer Browser was. This is a business browser built from the ground up to give IT the visibility and control to secure work right where it happens. No heavy enterprise deployment, no retraining your team. It's instantly familiar, easy to manage, and it protects your company data without slowing anybody down. For small and mid-sized businesses especially, this is a game changer. Don't get caught running yesterday's security on today's web. Check it out at nordlayer.com/browser. That's nordlayer.com/browser. Check it out. I think you're going to like it. And our thanks to NordLayer Browser for sponsoring this episode. And if running payroll still feels like a monthly tech support ticket, spreadsheets, screenshots, sticky notes on your monitor, I hear you. There's a better way, folks. Gusto, our sponsor, is online payroll and benefits software built for small businesses. It's all-in-one, remote-friendly, and incredibly easy to use, so you can pay, hire, onboard, and support your team from anywhere. Automatic tax filing, direct deposit, unlimited payroll runs for one flat monthly price. And it's ranked number 1 on G2 for 2026. This is the kind of thing that, game changer, right? Don't get caught running payroll on a glorified notes app. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/MGG and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/MGG. One more time, gusto.com/MGG. We've been looking at this. It looks really cool. I think you're going to like it. Go check it out, please. Gusto.com/MGG. And our thanks to Gusto for sponsoring this episode. And BB Edit, it's open on my Mac right now because I don't even have to look because it's pretty much always open, right? Show notes, word counts, file comparisons, multi-file searches. This is where the work that makes Mac Geek Gab happens. And BB Edit 15 just keeps getting better. The new Minimap palette gives you a bird's eye view of your whole document. Navigating a big, messy file now feels like you're flying a drone over your own text. When you zoom in the iPhone camera when you got that 8X zoom or whatever, and it shows you what you're seeing, but also kind of shows you the picture in the corner, the big picture in the corner, and where you are in relation to that so that you can move your camera around. That's what this does. It's pretty amazing. And then they've got ChatGPT worksheets that are baked right in so you can have an AI conversation without ever leaving the editor. It's crazy. 30-day free trial, full function, no catches. Don't get caught wrestling plain text in the wrong tool. Head to barebones.com for BB Edit. Check it out, barebones.com. I think you're going to love it. And yeah, our thanks to Barebones for sponsoring this episode. All right, should we do some AI related cool stuff found?
Absolutely. Sure. I got one from Chris. I'll kick us off with. Chris says, I decided recently to try a Plaud, P-L-A-U-D, Plaud NotePin S note taker to see if it might work for me. First time out, I was sold without any doubt. I wear it on my right wrist with the included strap. You also get a lapel clip and a lanyard, so you can wear it how you want. And whenever I go into a meeting or conversation with a client, I just hold down the button on the device till it vibrates and leave it until the discussion is finished. Then I press the button once more till it vibrates to stop the recording. I found it easy to start the sync of the recording up to the Plaud website on my walk back to the car. Then I start the note generation before I set off wherever I'm going next. And then I'm left with a really accurate summary of the meeting, complete with action plans. When I'm back at the office, I can sync the action points to my to-do list really quickly. I've been using it for about a month or so with the little time spent trying to work out what it can do for me, rather. It just works. And I don't need to carry any notebooks with me anymore. I can just concentrate on what's being said in the meeting, knowing that the Plaud device will capture all the notes I need. There is a bigger, slightly more expensive Note Pro device, but I didn't think this would be more beneficial to me than the Note Pin.
Huh. Yeah, this functionality, and there's many ways to deliver it, right? But this idea of listen to the conversation that I'm about to have and then summarize it for me, build me my action items, and don't forget those. Put those somewhere for me. That functionality is one of the best uses of AI. And here's my favorite part about it is it's a fairly straightforward use of AI. It's not an overly taxing use. Mainly the hard part is the speech to text, right? Like once you've got that, all the AIs, all the you're using the LLM for is to summarize, which can happen locally on device on your iPhone. So there's like ways to do this privately. And I love that these pins exist. I'm eager to see what how Apple solves for this, because we're there. This is one of my favorite uses of AI. So yeah, very cool. $150 and you can do it this way.
Nice.
It's cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Taking it in a different direction, but still staying in the AI world, is listener Steve Hammond. He says, if you're using a Home Assistant and you need help for your Home Assistant setup and like how you're going to configure things, there is now a Home Assistant MCP connector. MCP, somebody's going to fact check me on this. I believe it stands for Model Context Protocol. But what MCP really is it is like, it's an API for things to talk to AI engines. So like this can connect to, it could connect to the stuff that OpenAI has, the ChatGPT. It can connect to Claude, like any of the tools. MCP is this sort of universal standard for how these things can talk to each other. And what this lets you do, Steve Hammond said in our Discord, with Claude, it can directly look into my Home Assistant setup and help me figure things out. It already knows the real thing, so it helps not having the AI go south and suggesting things that make no sense to start with, because it has the full context. And what's nice about this is it saves you from having to like screenshot things or upload all your config files and all that stuff. You're just giving it local access. It can see it, process it, and do and then it could rewrite your local config files if you wanted. But yeah, that's very cool. I like that stuff. It's good.
Nice.
It might actually get me to use Home Assistant more, because I'm lazy about this, right? I already have my smart home set up the way that I want. I know that I would be like maybe 12 to 17% better if I moved everything to Home Assistant and did that. But oh my gosh, like the hours of work that it would take to get set up in a Home Assistant, it's just not worth it to me for that incremental bump. But I know I would appreciate that incremental bump, and over time it would probably go to like 50% better. This, I could point it at whatever I'm using. Like I currently use the A-Lady because that was my first thing, and it was like, all right, let's link it all together. You figure it out. I'm going to go eat dinner. I'll be back, and let Claude do it by way of this MCP connector. So that might actually get me there. Thanks, Steve. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I've got one that, here's the thing. I want to mention this first off. Adam and Dave and Pete didn't find all these cool things. Some people actually wrote into feedback at macgeekgab.com and sent them to us.
It's true. Feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Yes, and we appreciate that they wrote in to us at feedback at macgeekgab.com.
Yeah, and that's where Todd wrote, and he told us about another podcast we may have mentioned once or twice on this show before. Mac Power Users, episode 841 is about teaching AI skills. He says, I found the podcast episode very informative on teaching or having the AI remember skills that you train it. And that's at relay.fm/MPU/841. We'll put that in the show notes. The description of that episode is David walks through the AI robot assistant he built with Claude Cowork, from file management and email to invoicing and podcast production, plus why managed AI agents finally solved the memory and access problems that held chat bots back. Huh. So, yeah, very cool. Mac Power Users, good show to listen to when you're done with us.
They're one of my favorites. Yeah, and I love that that Stephen Robles is now part of Mac Power Users. That's a huge, like, that's That was almost as good as us getting Adam Christensen, folks.
There you go.
Well, David Sparks is one of the three musketeers on the MacCast with Victor, David, and myself. We do those episodes every once in a while.
right.
It's a little crossover kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I love David. He's great.
I agree.
Gave up lawyering he loves to teach. It's clear. So
It's clear. Yeah, he's very good at it.
he is good at it. Yeah.
Yep. I love that Mac Power Users exist. Mac Power Users, it was Katie who reached out to us here and was like, "Hey, we're going to start we love Mac Geek Gab. I think we want to start a podcast." This is 100 years ago. And Katie asked me, she's like, "Would you be offended if we she's like, I don't want to step on your toes." I'm like, "No, you
Come on in, the water's fine."
what do you mean? This is great. The more the merrier here. Yeah, exactly. And she's like, "Well, we're going to do things a little different. We're not going to do exactly the same, but I think the audiences are going to be similar." I'm like, "That's excellent. There's 14 podcasts today. We need the 15th. Please." Yeah.
There's more than 14 now, though.
It turns out. Yeah.
So,
but it's still I love that. I love that there's more than 14. What is there? There's about Rob Walsh always did this every year. I hope he continues doing it in his new role. But he did a thing where he looked at. I guess he can't do it because he can't see Libsyn's stats. But there were every year somewhere right around 450,000 active podcasts. And that number didn't change a whole lot year to year. The members of that subset certainly, changed. And I mean, there's way more than that. There's, millions of podcasts registered, but the active ones were about 450,000. And I love that you can find a show where people are talking about the thing that you want to talk about. And if you can't, email us at feedback@macgeekgab.com. We'll all happily share our advice on how to get started podcasting. So
I just looked up, seeing as you mentioned it, as of early 2026, there are approximately 4.5 to 4.7 million total podcasts worldwide, but only 340 to 480,000 are considered active, having published an episode within the last 90 days.
There you go.
So
So there's the number. Yep. And you can filter that 16 different ways. But go I want to. I'm going to go listen to that Mac Power Users episode because the whole skills thing makes a huge difference. That's one of the things I've learned from using OpenClaw. Is it's still a headache to manage, and Claude Cowork is so much more refined, but no great surprise. They basically do the same thing. But what I learned with OpenClaw is asking it to do something could go in a million different ways. Building a skill for it where you give it detailed, specific instructions on how to do a task that it is going to do for me over and over again, refining that skills file. Now, I use Claude Code to refine my skills files for OpenClaw.
Sure.
Why wouldn't I? Because OpenClaw was objectively bad at building its own skills files. But that's okay. Doesn't matter. But building those makes a huge difference. And so I think that's what David's going after with this, or some analog to that. So
Can I let me also add on real quickly that one of the things David does to teach is write what he calls field guides, and they're great little primers or primers, however you prefer. And he does have one for this. It's the Robot Assistant Field Guide at learn.macsparky.com. And so we'll put that link in the show notes as well.
That's another cool stuff found in and of itself. Yeah.
In and of itself, it is indeed. And I'll put the link in there right now, Dave. I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was on my clipboard.
Nope, too late. You got it. Dave, you were too fast for me, man.
I have a workflow, man.
His multitasking is off the charts, folks. It is a thing to watch.
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. I'm wondering, actually, this is so self-serving, but I know people would like to see it. I'm wondering if there's a way I could just record my screen so that people can see what I do while I podcast. I'd have to think through, like, are there any confidential things that like would pop up that I couldn't just share?
Yeah, but so you dox the people that, you know.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
I bet you could get an AI workflow to blur out those doxes.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. Yeah, I'm sure I could.
Just saying.
I will share, though, the reason I was able to get that link so fast. This is a quick tip, so I know it's a departure. Using Google Docs, if you are logged in as a Gmail user, right? So like our show notes document is publicly viewable and editable by anyone that has the link. And you can get that link if you join our live chat. And it's there so that if you want, you can follow along and even help us by adding links and things like that. So it's all great. If you are logged in, though, and not just an anonymous non-logged in user, then when you highlight any bit of text and hit, Command K, it will let you put a link in. If you're logged in, it will show you Google search's suggested links for the text that you have highlighted. And that is how I get links into the show notes really fast, is I just highlight the text, I hit Command K, and then I just pick from the list and I'm go. 90% of the time, what I want is in the list. If you're not logged in, you don't get that list. So that's my quick tip of the week. So I have a cool stuff found that actually I have had on the list for a very long time. And it's a cool thing called it's from a company called Audigo, Audigo. It is a tiny portable recording studio. It's a series of microphones. This thing is like it's like a little tiny box that is maybe about the size of your AirPods case. Right? Maybe a little taller than that.
Tiny. Okay.
It's that tiny. Yeah. It can wirelessly connect to your phone. It can also connect via wires. And it's built to just record and you can link them. You can get many of them and link, I think, up to 4 of them together. So you could literally multi-track record your band. They're $250 each. And if you buy them if you stack them, they can, you can get a discount on multiples. But I did some recording with one of these a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, with my daughter. Her flight was delayed, and so we had like an extra couple of hours together, which we cherished. And we sat by the fire pit, and I got my guitar out and we started playing. And I had permission from her a year ago to play this on Geek Gab, so I'm assuming that permission is still there. But I think if I start playing this, we will hear what this thing sounds like. It's just amazing. This is just sitting in front of me outside 3 feet from me. It adds the reverb. It can tweak all this stuff. It's amazing. And if you're listening in stereo, you'll hear the stereo field when my daughter comes in on the harmony here. So you would hear her in the left channel. And here we go. Yeah. It's the coolest little thing. Wow. I'm shocked at how good it sounds. Yeah. And all those effects and everything just happened. I didn't know. I mixed it in the thing and was like, yep, okay, this is good. It's done. Print, and that's it. Yeah. It's pretty good. Hopefully the Rolling Stones don't mark our podcast as, something. That's a Rolling Stones song. Wasn't that the song that they went after? Bittersweet Symphony was the name of the band. I can't think of the Verve pipe. The Verve. It was the
like that.
but they had sampled the strings from the live version of Dead Flowers into their song. It wasn't even that they had like copied the chord progression. They literally like lifted those strings and put them in. So there was a whole thing. But anyway, hopefully we don't go through that.
The question I have is, do you still only get one channel for editing when it puts in? Or does
yes.
each mic create its own channel? Okay.
You can, well, I mean, you can mix the stereo separately and blend that. So you do get the full kind of ambient picture of things. But like I said, you can stack them together. Like if Sky was also playing guitar and had her own Audigo mic, we could record simultaneously. And now we get multi-tracks of those things that we can mix.
Right. Okay, because that's what I'm asking. I'm trying to find a simple but effective method to have a 3 or 4-way conversation for my show.
Yeah.
Can I set it on the table in front of somebody? Because the lavalier mics are great until people start scratching their throat.
Yeah, that's correct.
Or maybe.
That's correct. Yeah. Ambient mics for human speech are not the way to do it.
Not ideal. No.
Yeah. But this does have some noise canceling and things like that in it. So One second, I'm pretty sure this thing's like up here in the studio. I was going to like hold it up to show on the camera, but I don't know where it is.
Well, it's because it's too small.
I know. I may have put it in my gig bag. I did. I lost it. It's around. I know. I've seen it. Yeah. Got to find it though. I probably put it in my gig bag because I was recording some other stuff with it. But anyway.
As soon as we end the stream, it'll sit right in front of you on your desk.
100%. I'm staring at it. I just literally can't see it. That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Never happened to me, but I hear it's
there's
bad.
a name for this phenomenon. Somebody will tell us. Yeah. All right. Shall we go to the discussion that we've been kicking the can down the road on for a long time? Cables.
Cables.
Speaking of Linus Tech Tips, right?
Yeah.
Were we talking about them in the show, or was it pre-show?
It
must have been pre-show. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway,
it was plain conversation. They had bought it.
That's right.
There's an episode you can go watch. So Linus Tech Tips is a YouTube channel for people who don't know. Been around for a long time. Great tech YouTube channel. And we have a cool stuff found from Eddie. I actually also saw these things and thought about bringing them up, so it was great that Eddie wrote in and told us. So good morning, MGG crew from the Pacific Northwest. Quick cool stuff found? Maybe? Absolutely, definitely. The reason that I qualify that is I have not actually tried this product. I haven't either because they're impossible to get, but anyway, he says, but it sounds promising for those of us who've been disappointed by the quality of and the throughput of current USB-C cables. Linus Tech Tips is now producing new cables called LTT TrueSpec cables. And that's TruSpec, TrueSpec cables. Right now, they have a limited selection. Actually, I just looked on their website. They have no selection. I mean, they have all the options, but they're all sold out. But you can get on the wait list to be notified, and I would. He says, so I haven't ordered any yet, but it's nice someone has tried to produce this quality of a cable, no matter what your opinion of the site might be. He can be controversial. In the past, they've been pretty critical of Apple, although right now they're freaking out about the Neo. They love that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've never had. I've had dinner with those guys. Like they're good people, and they speak. I like that they're like us, right? They tell it as they see it. They don't. Nobody. Yeah, that's freaking brilliant. Yeah.
They don't sugarcoat it, but some people don't like that. Anyway, but what's great about these cables is they are tested and, more importantly, clearly marked for transfer speeds and current carrying ability. If you need a cable that you can count on to do what it says it can do, these might be worth the premium. If nothing else, something to keep your eye on. And then the one thing I want to point out on this, because I know this is going to be a complaint from people, but they kind of address this. There's a if you go to the page for it, I think they have the episode where they announced these and they talked about all the how they're building them and why it took a while and all the things that they're doing to ensure quality and stuff like that. They do not run these through the USB IF certification process, like the official USB certification process, for a couple reasons. One, it is very expensive, 12 to like $13K per cable. And if you look at the number of cables they have all different speeds, all different ratings and stuff like that. I mean, I think if you pull down the list, there's got to be at least a dozen, if not more. So, each one would be that, and it takes like 2 to 3 weeks to get the certification, and it's just a testing thing, and it's not required. The only reason you do it is so you can get the little USB, I think, logo on your product, but it doesn't like mean all that much in reality. There's a lot of cables that don't go through the certification for these reasons, and people use them every day. So they do their own internal testing. They guarantee that these are and do meet the specs that they're saying on the cable. So, and again, I like that. I like the fact that they're clearly labeled. Yep. So when you pick it up, it's like literally molded into the plastic. This is a 20 gigabit per second, 240 watt cable, or this is a 40 gigabit per second,
Yeah.
So if there's like no doubt like which cable you're using, and you can make sure you get the right one and it's doing what you want it to do. So pretty exciting.
Interesting. Like I'm going through the site here, and I put a 20 gigabit variant in my cart at 2.3 feet, and then or at 4.9 feet, and then 40 gigabit variant at like 2.3 feet. It seems like everything is $29.99 Canadian. So I'm not. That seems a little off to me. That like every cable would just be the same price, but like if I go down to one of the 480 megabit per second cables, $24.99. No, okay, they are that price. All right, and they do seem to have. There are some of the 40 gigabit variants are in stock, and I will say something. And I'll put a link in the show notes to what I used.
Are you on the Canadian site? The link that
I'm on like the global site. Do you have a non-global site?
Yeah, because I'm seeing U.S. prices, and it's showing everything's sold out, so I don't know if it's regional or not.
Maybe visit the Canadian site. Yeah, I don't know. We did a whole deep dive a couple of years ago into USB-C cables because of this, right? Because you can wind up with a cable and you don't know what its capabilities are. And I wound up traveling and almost not having a cable that I could plug into my extended monitor, right? Because I was like, oh, a cable's a cable. And it's like, no, oh, sweetie, if only, I believe for the LTT cables, the 40 gigabit per second variant would be the one that is, I know it's not certified, but essentially full USB 4/Thunderbolt 4.
Correct.
With, being able to pass all the data, including video, and then 240 watts of power. I standardized a couple of years ago on this other cable that at the moment isn't available, but that's what you're looking for. And they don't have to be certified. The ones that I found are, the same specs. It's 40 gigs, 240 watts. And these are what I put in my travel case. And I know that it will just work with any hard drive I plug into it, any monitor, any charging. It's the only thing I travel with. And that way I know every cable I have is fully capable of doing all of the things that I might need to do. Turns out mine's currently unavailable, but you can find others, of course. But that's the spec you want to look for is 40 gigs, 240 watts. And if you really want it USB certified, great. But you won't get the lengths that you want because the certification bodies say that, it's got to be like, I think maybe 1 meter, but that's it.
That's the total length. And it looks like that's the longest one in that spec that TrueSpec sells anyway.
TrueSpec has a, you're right. You are right. 1 meter. Yeah. Yep.
And that's probably because they're probably, I would imagine there's some level of degradation after that. Right?
I'm sure there is. I don't notice it in the use cases that I use, traveling on the road, all that stuff. But yes, I would imagine you're right. Yep.
Yeah. And again, the whole point behind these TrueSpec spec cables is they will deliver exactly what it says. So
Yep.
they probably found in their own testing. I'm sure they probably tried to make a longer one, and then when they tested it, they're like, well, it's not always making 40 gigabits per
Correct.
second, so they won't sell it.
Correct.
That's, I mean, that's just how they feel about it. It's like it needs to be exactly what it says.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yep. I love it. It's great. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that we finally, well, I know we've had this conversation over the years, but it's good to have it again. Like it's, yep. Yepper. Our good friend Andrew Stone, who from Stone Design Software, although I don't think he's written software in quite some time. He was also the one who created the Videator app that was used for all the visuals that you saw at the Cirque du Mac parties. He created that app so that he could do that for Cirque du Mac parties. But Andrew told us about this new book that is, I think it's still in pre-order, called Steve Jobs in Exile from Jeffrey Kane. And it is the untold story of Steve's wilderness years and the creation of a legend. So it's the 12 years from 1985 to 1997 when he was kind of creating Next. It's the whole story of Next, which is where Andrew actually got to work with Steve and all of those things. There's crazy stories that probably don't need to be told, but I'm sure they're actually all told in the book. I'm sure you're gonna learn about where Steve had to get clearance from I think it was from the FBI to work with the NSA, and that's probably where the show gets cut off by all of the various powers that be. But yeah, interesting stuff in those next years. So thanks, Andrew, for sending that through to us. Love it. We have time for more, and if so, where do we want to go? Adam, you were next up, so I'm going to let it be dealer's choice.
Oh, okay. I mean, I had asked about leather cases, so I think let's go with Hans. He had a recommendation for me, I think, because I had mentioned I liked Apple's leather iPhone case. So he says, "Hi, when I first got my iPhone, a 4S, my second cell phone after a Motorola Razr, awesome, I got an Apple leather case. Apple then stopped selling leather cases, and at some point I discovered DavisCase, which is a quality leather goods company making a variety of leather products. I've had their cases on my iPhones 6S, 11, and a 16 Pro, as well as my wife's 5S, 7, and 13 ever since. The cases have all survived in the use of each as a phone, though the 6S had to be replaced when I got the 16 Pro because it got wet and it didn't. And I didn't dry it, basically, is what he's saying.
Got it.
They make a variety of cases, including non-iPhones. They aren't cheap, nor are they as expensive as some of the other leather cases I've seen.
Well,
I generally
get like $50, 30, $40, $50. Okay.
Yeah, I generally get the fold-over style, which I can use as a wallet. But all my screens are unscathed, except the 5S, which I accidentally dropped and opened face down. Yep. That happens on the floor. I've also bought other leather goods from them, such as a wallet and satchel, and I carry my iPad in, and now a MacBook Pro 13-inch with 2 pockets for accessories. So cool. So that's my recommendation, the DavisCase leather iPhone case.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Have to check this out. Especially, I've been looking for a new satchel for my.
Oh, yeah.
For my MacBook Pro. So if they have that kind of thing, I like that style of...
it's really pretty leather.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I think this show's going to be expensive for Adam, Pete. So.
Yeah.
Well, right. Again, I'm looking at these satchels. They're not that pricey. They're like $70.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
For real leather? Come on.
Yep.
As long as it'll fit my laptop, it might not be big enough. That's the only thing. But
I think we got another case, right, Pete? That's not at all leather.
No. So Kent wrote in, and he says, I enjoyed your discussion last week of the people's favorite iPhone cases. For years, I've been a solid OtterBox user. When I bought my 15, I ordered a symmetry case for it, and it didn't fit very well. Every time I pulled the phone out of my pocket, it would come halfway off. I'll try not to talk down this one too much. He tried a different line, the Lumen, better, but not perfect. So he says, I finally found the Prestige case, which was free shipping, and it was $10 for the case. Fits great, slim, and the part over the camera lens also have glass covers, so the magnets are strong, and it holds well on my charger. And he says also, this is a twofer. I've recently, I never used until recently a screen protector, but I bought one for my wife and decided it was a good idea. I chose a 3-pack from ESR, and it came with an alignment device, which made the installation a breeze. Interestingly enough, the screen protector is just thick enough to fill the lip around the case, so it's flush. If the phone falls on its face, the protector will take the hit. So ESR screen protector and the Prestige armor case. And the one Dave has on the screen there is $49.99. He mentioned $10. I don't know where he got the $10 one.
Well, this is the Armor Pro, so maybe, I don't know which phone he was buying it for.
Yeah. So a $10 case.
Did he give us a link?
I'm looking for it. I'm not seeing it.
I don't think so. No. So I found the, so we might be talking about something very different, because I found the Prestige. Are his Kevlar? Or did I find the wrong thing?
Doesn't say. No. It just says an ad for a Prestige case, free shipping, a $10 case. Fits great.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can reach out before the episode is released and get that link from Kent, so that the right thing goes out to all of you. But I definitely have the ESR screen protector, and that I've got right. So,
which turns out you don't need a screen protector, until you need it.
Yeah. I was just going to say, wait, what are you saying? All right, great.
Yeah, I fell and didn't have a screen protector on and scratched the screen on my 17.
That's right. You only get to do that once. That's right.
Screen protector on there, that would have taken the hit.
Yep.
Up until then, it wasn't scratched, and I didn't need a screen protector.
All right. Do we have time for a couple more here? Do we think so? Maybe. I'm gonna take a second here and do this next one from Bob, because it's such a cool thing. If you are like me, and as I mentioned in recent episodes, that I like mechanical watches as much as I like an Apple Watch. And Bob says this is the best of both worlds. The Smartlet band lets you wear an Apple Watch and a traditional mechanical watch on the same wrist at the same time, stacked one above the other. So you get it one on either side of your wrist. Essentially the watch band has another watch on the opposite side of where the clasp might normally be. You can flip depending on your context, choose which watch sits on top. The Apple Watch could be there for workouts or notifications. The mechanical watch for your meetings or for your style. And it says it works with the Apple Watch, all Apple Watch models, and traditional metal watches using standard 20 or 22 millimeter lugs, including high-end brands like Rolex, Omega, Tag Heuer, Tudor, Zenith, etc. Ridiculous and kind of brilliant. It's $418 for, I believe, just the band. Right. Well, right. We all know that that's a lot of money. The reason we say that, though, is that we are an Apple podcast, not a watch, horology nerd podcast. Yeah. So.
No, I get
it. Yep. They know their market here.
I mean, when your watch costs $10K, $400 for the band is probably not all that much money. No. Or when your watch, sending your watch in to the manufacturer for service costs more than, 2 Apple Watches. That's ridiculous. And yet that is how the high-end mechanical watch world works. There's also a fantastic low end is the wrong, lower priced market of a lot of these sort of little, boutique
watchmakers, I mean, there's some boutique watchmakers that make like watches you can only talk about in hushed tones because they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars. But then there's also the people who are using like good movements from like Seiko and other brands putting into their watches. Then the watches can then cost, between, let's say, $150 and $400. And you can also find watches on Amazon for like $30, that are mechanical too. And I have watches that run the gamut. I love them all. So,
right.
Yeah. I really do. They're all fun. Yeah.
Kiwi Graham says in the Discord chat, I got a high-end, low-priced watch in Thailand. Lasted 4 days.
Yeah.
There you go.
We had something else in Thailand that lasted. Never mind.
Lasted more than 4 days, I bet.
I've never been to Thailand. Yeah, let's just make that clear.
Oh, man.
I would like to visit, though. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Pick one.
Yeah, Jeff wrote in. He says, hey, guys, I've been a listener for many years. I've written a few times and hesitated to send this because I don't want to sound like I'm just trying to plug my business. But you did ask your thoughts for more thoughts on insurance options for iPhones. I run a small repair shop myself. It's crackedgadgets.com. He says, we work with a company called Akko, AKKO. The problems I find with the other insurance company are price, deductibles, the quality of repaired product. If your device is not repairable, lost, or stolen, they'll send you a refurbished phone, and their refurbishing process is not exactly known to be the highest of qualities.
Oh, this is not Akko that does this.
This is not Akko. Yeah, that's what he's recommending. I'm just not bad-mouthing the other one,
Got it.
I guess I could, but in that scenario, Akko, AKKO, not only are the deductibles generally much lower, they'll send you cash for the replacement value of your phone. They also have a very nice plan, which is the one I usually personally use for $15 a month. Covers one phone and up to 25 other devices like computers, game consoles, tablets, golf clubs, bicycles. I don't know, your mother-in-law's teeth, dentures. I don't know. 25 devices. That's a lot. And they're also very flexible with Rare. You can take the device for repair. If you bring it to a shop like mine, we work with them directly and we get paid by them. But if you need to take it somewhere else, you can pay for it and get reimbursed. I hope that didn't sound too much like an advertisement. Love the podcast always. So this Akko sounds like
that's a good thing.
Quality insurance. Yeah.
And you can, I'm looking on their website here, you can get a phone only plan for $5 a month. So that make sure, I mean, you folks are smart. You would find your way there. But the link that I'm putting in the show notes brings you to the Akko consumer page because they have, they're an insurance company, so they do a lot of different things. Yeah. And at first I was really confused, and then I was able to find their consumer-facing website, and it was like, okay, this is where we actually find the things that matter for this conversation. So, very cool. Thanks, Jeff. Good stuff.
Correctgadgets.com. Sounds like he knows.
Well, that's just Jeff's.
That's Jeff's. Yeah.
That's Jeff's repair business. I love that.
Which tells us he's dealt with them a lot. That's why it's a good endorsement. Yeah. I think.
I agree. So, yeah, it's good. And always happy to, help promote a listener. Love that. Yep. Do you have anything else, Adam, or are we calling it?
I think we should call it.
I agree. It
was a lot.
It was a lot. We did a lot today.
Jam-packed.
Yes.
And
we jammed it.
The show is full. Your wallets are empty. It's time for us to go. We've done our job here.
Well said. I like that. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This was a fun one. It's always a fun one. We really appreciate that we get to do what we get to do, and that is because of you. So we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you sending in all this stuff, the cool stuff found for this week, of course, and the quick tips and questions that allow us to kind of dig in. And we know it's a two-way street, and we love that we get to be a part of this community. So thank you. Thanks to all of our premium members at macgeekup.com/premium. Without everybody, and including you, our premium members, we just couldn't do this. So thank you. Thanks to CashFly for providing all the bandwidth to get the show from us to you. You can find more of us, Adam's debut film podcast, Pete's So There I Was podcast, and my Business Brain and Geek Gab podcasts. Which reminds me, I need to finish recording Monday's Geek Gab. Well,
Yeah.
yepper. Thanks, everybody. What does that say on Pete's shirt there, Adam?
As always, don't get caught.
Made on a Mac.
I like that little made on a Mac thing. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's OG, man. That goes
Super.
way back.
You had that on your show, too. That guy, whoever that was, sent it to all of us. Yeah. All right, later, folks.